in the game as a whole?
I knew it was going to be a tough game. I knew that our energy level was going to be, I knew guys were tired. They were talking about being tired during the week. We were tired in practice during the week, and it's understandable. We were 2 weeks on a long trip and back here doing classes, trying to get back in the routine. So I thought we got, first of all, I thought St. Thomas was very good in the game. They played hard, blocked shots, create scoring chances. I think an average goaltender, if we have an average goaltender, it's a different game, and we don't. We have a great goaltender, and I thought he was great. I mean, he certainly did his job tonight. And then we got some timely scoring. We played off of that and got timely scoring. Parker made a nice play. But I think that every time I see St. Thomas, I see more completeness to their game. So Rico's mark is setting into that group, and they're continuing to grow. And 2 years in, they're a good hockey team. I watched in prepping, they lost 2-1 at Duluth in an even game. Recently, the game that we really had, the most recent game to break down. So I give them credit, and I give our guys just find a way. I thought our third period was our best period. I thought we managed the puck pretty well, and it was much bigger points than I think most people would realize, because we're at the midway point of league play, and there's only I think 3 wins separating us. They had 4 in league play. We have 7. If they come in here and sweep us, there's 1 game separating us, and so that was a really big game for our team this year.
Going into the first 2 periods, it looked like we were playing more of a St. Thomas transition style game, trying to match them instead of playing our own blue collar system that you've coined more or less. How do you make sure that we can continue playing Michigan Tech hockey versus trying to play what the opponent's doing?
Yeah, I think when we lose our identity a little bit, it's mental, and again, that was, I think, a lot of what we saw tonight was a lot of fatigue in the team, and hopefully we're better tomorrow night, but it's just we all like to see us when we're supporting and integrating well, when there's good synergy within our and flow within our game, and when we're turning the puck over. I mean, I think a lot of it was evident. I think we came out with good energy. I thought we started well the first 6, 7, 8 minutes. Our first power play was good. Our second power play in the second period was horrendous in every facet that it could be. And I think that really showed that that we were feeling the wear and tear. And there was no freshness in our game, in our minds, and in our body. And again, I just give our team all the respect that I have, that they found it in the third period and came together. I've been with a lot of teams that have played. You've seen a lot of teams here that I've been involved with that have been really good through 2 periods, and then weren't able to close the deal. And you're saying, got to learn how to win. Got to learn how to win. Got to learn how to win. When you see a team that comes together when it's needed, that's when the coach sits in the background and says what I'm saying right now, that I'm extremely proud of the group, because that's within them. So how do we do this? We don't. They now have a good understanding of how we need to play, and they're constantly striving to find that in every game that we play, and they've found it in a lot of games. I think that's 15 wins this year. I couldn't be prouder of the group.
What does it say about this group that they were able to figure it out for the third period?
I don't know how. This is goaltending, grind, and timely scoring, and that's been kind of what we've done the entire year. It happens differently all the time with different guys all the time. This is no magical coaching. Although I will say this, I think our assistant coaches are doing a tremendous job in managing the group as well. But right now, our biggest deal is trying to give them direction on some aids that we think will help them. Listening to them, their input on what they would like to try. coming to a consensus on that, and more siding with them than not, and kind of just letting the group play, and they're doing a good job, certainly trying to avoid at all costs over coaching, because I think our culture and our chemistry is our strength, and that's the guys that are holding the group together. And that's the leadership core. All I said on the bench in the second is leaders find a way to get this thing going. And they found a way to get it going. I'm very proud of them.
Parker is a guy that you haven't really counted on, prior to this season, but he's finding some ways to get a couple of big goals for you in big moments.
Well, I think if you ask Parker, and there's probably some truth to it, that he just wanted a more elevated role, and it was hard for us to do that with some of the legs that we had because of the way the way that certain guys play. You look at Misiak. I love the energy that he brought to a team. Now, did he have the ability to make a play like Parker? No. But he did generate so much more. So other guys got those. So I think if you were to ask Parker, I think he would say that I'm just getting a chance to play, and there's probably merit to that, and I think there's also merit to our side that what we were doing, the decisions we were making, were working for our group. I mean, we were a good team. We've been a good team. So, but we needed it, and he's been extremely positive. I think that I don't think there's anybody that has more influence in the locker room than Parker. So when I talk about culture and that's a real strength for us. A lot of that's going right to him and to Arvid and to Mosley and to Thorne. I mean, I could name so many guys, but there's certainly some guys that are holding this thing together for sure.
Compared to previous seasons, how fun is this team to watch, knowing that you don't know which line's going to be bringing in the points every night?
It's very stressful. I mean, it's stressful. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I think the biggest reason that I'm enjoying it is because I'm learning different things of how let them play. You know what I mean? Let them play. Let them figure it out, and we all as coaches, referees, police officers, we're all driven by ego to some degree. We're just trying to stay in the background, and honestly, the strength. If we overcoach this group and try to change what they are to fit what we want out of them, we'll lose them. So right now, to answer your question, I mean it's hard because every game's a nail biter, but I'm enjoying the ride for sure. I'm enjoying the ride with these guys because I feel I'm learning some things too from them as the importance of culture, the importance. I mean, and I've always known that, but it's an easy thing to say, and it's another thing to totally submit to it and to allow it to take over, and that's kind of what we're trying to do.
You moved Nardella up and Jankowski back to the fourth line today. What did you feel like that gave you as far as opportunities go?
Well, during the game we did that. We made that switch during the game, and we thought we needed. I think that Nards is a better centerman. He's more impactful at center than on wing. But in fairness to Janko, he missed. I mean, he had an illness the whole time we were in. I mean, he didn't leave his room when we were in 10 days, 8 days, whatever. He was isolated, not with COVID. He had a different ailment, but feverish and things like that. So really this week was the first time he skated since the GLI, and it showed a little bit. But we need to get him in the lineup and get him going. So we didn't feel he was being productive. Arvid was a game time decision. He was out. He didn't skate the last couple of days. And excuse me. I'm sure we'll find a little bit more of that going through the group as well. So I'm more concerned with the injuries. We have another one tonight on the back end, and that's just. But again, then they keep finding ways to win. So,
Speaking about finding ways to win, after the stars aligning tonight, Tech's now at 11th in the pairwise, going with the game ending. How does it feel to be roughly the same spot, if not a little better than last year? Just as like from your perspective.
I think I'm doing a really good job of not even, in honesty. It really doesn't matter to me. We're approaching it just like we did tonight. Let's find a way. Let's find a way to get these points. I don't think we dominate. I don't think we're a team that, like, I went into the game tonight knowing it was going to be a battle. You know what I mean? So, I'm looking for league points because I think home ice is important, extremely important to try to ultimately do what we're trying to do. It's big for the program. It's, but I don't. The other stuff will, take care of itself. We can put emphasis on that, and I think we'll lose what we have a little bit if we put all or nothing on any individual game. We're ahead of the game right now. Whether we stay there or not, time will tell. We have a tough schedule coming up. We're playing a bunch of big dogs coming up. So and St. Thomas, you saw, is a pretty good battle.
How do you build off this heading into tomorrow?
Do some video, try to look for some combinations, do some one-on-one meetings with some guys that might help. Just like we always do. We're not going to try and reinvent the wheel, I'll tell you that.
We stuck with it all game. It was tight up until the third, so I think we did a good job sticking with it.
What changed between the second and third? Was it something said in the locker room, or did you guys just figure it out on the ice, or what?
No, I think most guys know that maybe we took a step back, or we had more to give. So just coming out in the third, we wanted to get on the board first. That first goal was real big. I think that really pushed us over the edge for the night.
You're starting to generate point production from the defensive side now. You got your first goal over last weekend in Arizona. How does it feel to be able to contribute and get that ice time and earn your way up?
It feels good. Obviously it's hard being a young guy sometimes, but I understand the process, and it feels good to be able to contribute. It's you get close, you hit post, and but to see a puck go in and start putting some assists up, it feels good.
You're also starting to show a little bit of confidence with the puck. Are you just starting to see things open up for you now, or what are you feeling on the ice with the puck?
I think that just comes with getting a little bit of chance to play and playing more. You start to kind of find your game a bit, and it's a big jump. There's a lot of good players out there, and just getting comfortable and just finding my game is the biggest thing.
Going through the first two periods of the game, did you guys sort of feel like you were playing St. Thomas's game instead of your own game to a degree?
I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those games where we get a chance, they get a chance, and I think it was pretty even. I think at times we were chasing it a bit, but I think we kind of sunk back to what we know and just found ourselves. So,
how do you continue now moving forward and getting another win tomorrow?
We just have to bring some more energy. I think it's got to be right from the start, and I think all of our big players were stepping up, and we're showing a lot of really good things. So I think we just got to bring the energy and get on them from the start.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid effort. I think the first two periods weren't the type of game we wanted to necessarily play, but after a long road trip and a short Christmas break and coming off that high on that Desert Classic win, I think it was an overall good effort and good win for the team.
How important was it to come out in the third period and play more of your game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Coach Sean came in between periods and just said we got to be better at the blue lines, not turning pucks over, not giving them as much transition, because I thought we did a pretty decent job in the D zone for the most part, keeping them outside. But when we started getting to more of a track meet style, it definitely started to tilt a little more their way, I thought.
Your whole line generated points today in offense. How does it feel to get that ability to contribute on a consistent basis nowadays?
For sure, yeah. I feel like, especially with this group this year, I feel like it's more of a committee. Opposed to last year, we had a big three line kind of thing. So, on any given night, anybody can step up, and that's it's a good recipe for good teams, and it's going to help us get a lot of wins down the road.
What did you see on your goal?
4-on-4, so lots of ice. Tried to swing around the net and get some speed, and then noticed the D-man just had a loose gap, not very tight. So Crespi dished me the puck, got a step on him, and just took it to the net.
You started off the game a little sluggish as the team, kind of not necessarily playing down to St. Thomas, but playing their style of hockey versus the blue collar hockey that Joe Jean's familiar with. How do you transition from going into day 2 to try to keep that momentum and not fall back to that playing down or to their style?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that last game in Arizona, especially BU, you know, they like to play that track meet, so I think that kind of sucked us into that style of game a little bit. So it took us a little bit to get back to Huskies hockey and what makes us a good program. I think today was the biggest one, to be honest. Obviously, the first period and a sweep is. Which is the goal, is the biggest period for sure, and just weathering their push off the start. But I think if we stick to our game plan, stay tight in the D zone, the neutral zone with our gaps, I think we could have a good result again.
Is it hard playing 5 different teams back to back to back to back instead of getting like a 2-game series?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely a lot more preparation, more video for sure, to learn tendencies of centerman, neutral zone, D zone, O zones, all that types of stuff. But I think we're doing a good job of focusing on our structure and what makes us good. I think we're starting to realize we got a really good team, really good group of guys. So I think it's less about them and more about how we play and how we dictate the game.
Speaking about that, Tech's now, I believe, either 10th or 11th in the pairwise now, and the only CCHA team to get an at-large bid chance. How is that pressure holding up for the team?
I wouldn't necessarily call it pressure. I mean, if you're coming in this season, I think everyone counted us out for that type of bid, especially with the players we lost last year. We just got to keep believing in ourselves, playing for each other. Try not to focus on that too much because ultimately we do want a league championship. So that'd be good to add to my resume senior year for sure.